right. Well, we are now 4 minutes into a 20-minute session, so I'm just going to go without slides. We'll try that. Luckily, this is a very storytelling-based presentation, and the slides are additive, but they are not necessary. We'll just dive in. I'm Steve Persh, Director of Technical Marketing at Pantheon, if you can't tell from all the Pantheon branding behind me. And this session is the hierarchy of needs for high-performing web teams. The hierarchy of needs metaphor here, I'm borrowing from Abraham Maslow, famous American psychologist. He said that we human beings, we tend to organize our needs into a hierarchy. At the base of the hierarchy, we have our physiological and safety needs. Without food, water, sleep, emotional, physical security, we don't have much energy to focus on any other needs. Above that, we need a sense of belonging, our friends, our family, our connection to society at large. Once we know where we fit in the world, we can then ask, does that place give us a sense of self-respect, a sense of self-esteem? And at the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have self-actualization. Are we reaching our full potential as human beings? Let me know if this is working in the chat without slides. I think it'll be fine. The hierarchy of needs for websites, as I see it, is a similar 5-level hierarchy. At the base of the hierarchy, we have servers and stability. We need servers or some abstraction thereof, getting electricity, internet bandwidth, DNS, as Facebook reminded us. If we don't have stable DNS, we're not going to have a website at all. Above that, at the middle layer, we have the idea of compliance. Are we complying with laws like the GDPR, California's new privacy laws? Are universities or our institutions' own branding guidelines? Are we going to get an angry email saying you used the wrong color or this website is inaccessible? Once we know our website is not broken and it's not wrong, we can then ask, is this website any good? Is it of quality? And at the top of the website hierarchy of needs, are we building up towards conversions? A little bit more of an introduction of Pantheon. Our mission is to make the open web a first-class platform that delivers results. We think that web ops is a team sport. We tend to say that a lot. In fact, we say it so much that one of my coworkers is giving another presentation right now, really driving home that idea that website operations is a team sport. Before I get too far into the story, I want to emphasize that this idea of a hierarchy of needs is not a hierarchy of people. We'll go through a fictional story here. We'll follow the story of Demo University. And that story is a story in which there are people from all parts of the university. There are developers, system administrators, communications professionals, and none of them is the boss of anyone else in this story. Perhaps making websites would be easier if you could just say, I'm the boss, we're doing it my way. But often the difficulty in running a web team is that there is this cross-functional team dynamic. So before we begin today's story, let's set the back story that Demo University has just switched over from Drupal 7 to Drupal 9. They completed that switchover last month, and depending on who you ask at Demo University, they'll say that switch went okay or fine. They might say it actually went pretty bad, depending on who you ask. That's the background for our story as we begin with Atusa, the brand new director of alumni giving at Demo University. Let's imagine that she's settling into her office. They're taking appropriate COVID protocols. She's socially distanced. She's pulling out her personal Microsoft Surface laptop. She hasn't even gotten the laptop from the IT department yet, but she has work to do. She's gotten some spreadsheets sent over. She's looking at Excel, figuring out where can she make a financial impact in this role as the director of alumni giving. She starts writing down all sorts of ideas on where she might make a difference. Perhaps parties at homecoming football games. Perhaps she should do more coordination with the big network of alumni nurses because Demo University has a great nursing program. All these ideas are flowing when she hears a knock on the door, and it is the president of Demo University. Atusa is so excited to share with him all the ideas she has on sticky notes, but Demo University's president cuts off Atusa. The president says, you know what? I want you to focus on just the website. From what I'm hearing, we should be getting a lot more donations through the website. That seems like a big shortcoming right now. Focus on that. The president smiles somewhat forcedly and leaves. Atusa's deflated. She didn't want to focus on the website right out of the gate, but sees that she has no other choice. She pulls up Demo University's website on that personal Microsoft Surface, and she starts clicking around, and the website looks good. It did just switch to Drupal 9, although she doesn't know that. It loads fast. It looks good. And she asks herself, what's wrong? Why isn't this working? And as she looks at other competitor websites, other universities, she notices that they all have give or giving or donate in the header menu. And for some reason, Demo University does not have that in the global header menu. So while, yes, Atusa does have a problem here, the website does not generate enough donations, the solution seems relatively simple. Let's just put give in the global header menu, and that could solve all of Atusa's problems. Well, to put give in the global header menu, she will need to work with someone else. She cannot do that alone. She needs to talk with Sam, the director of communications at Demo University. Now, Sam is over in his office. He's got the brand new multicolored iMac on his desk. Next to that, he's got a picture of himself, his wife, his kids, cousins, grandparents. Everybody is wearing Demo University sweatshirts. Sam cares very deeply about the image that Demo University presents out to the world. That's why Sam is a bit frustrated with the fact that after this Drupal 9 switch, some of the pages built in Layout Builder look great, and some not so good. So Sam is deeply focused on all these pages spread across a bunch of tabs when he gets a direct message from Atusa, his brand new coworker. Atusa is asking, can we just add this menu item to the global header menu, put give in the header? Sam is a bit surprised at such a bold request from a new coworker, and he says, no, we actually just launched a new look and feel for the website. Atusa keeps pressing, though. She knows this is important. Isn't it bad to leave this out? Our rival, Sample University, just puts give in their global header menu. Sam pauses for a moment. He knows that if Atusa's predecessor had been better at the job, then give or giving would already be in the global header menu. But he also knows that there are a lot of links in that header menu right now. And if you add one more, you'll have that thing where you've got the one line of links and you add one more. Now you've got 2 lines of links. It looks broken. It looks weird. And so Sam is now the one with the problem. Adding one more link to the global header menu will break the design. The solution, though, might be relatively simple. Let's update the design, perhaps. To do that, though, we'll need to talk with Stacy. Stacy is the designer at Demo University. Stacy, since the Drupal 9 relaunch, has been wanting to avoid screens and noise as much as possible. So she is sitting in the university's coffee shop, away from other people. She is sketching pen on paper updates to the design components that she thinks most need attention. And then she starts to feel that DM, direct message, notification buzzing on her phone. She reluctantly looks at her phone and she realizes it's Sam, probably with another urgent request. And Sam is asking, can we just make the header font smaller so that we can add one more item? And Stacy says, no, we did that twice already. Sam keeps pushing, but we really need to increase donations. At this point, though, Stacy has even more reluctantly opened up her laptop, started tabbing through the header menu, and she is now starting to panic because she has realized that the keyboard focus has gotten trapped inside of the header menu. And if this website is not appropriately keyboard accessible, that is a much bigger problem than what are the given header links. They could get sued over an inaccessible website. So she now has an even worse problem. The solution, though, as she understands it, seems relatively simple. Let's fix the HTML in the header template. Stacy, the designer, knows enough about Drupal to know that there is a twig file, maybe too many twig files, somewhere where a change could be made. She knows, though, that she will need someone else to make that change, which brings us to Jeremy, the front-end developer at Demo University. Jeremy is in his office, or rather his open office cubicle situation. He's typing away on a mechanical keyboard. He's got the MacBook Air at the ergonomic height. On the back of the MacBook Air, he's got all the cool stickers, GitHub, GraphQL, Webpack. No Drupal stickers, but that's okay. Jeremy is deep in coder nirvana. He's typing away into VS Code. He's got iTerm over here on the vertical monitor doing hot reloading as he hits save in VS Code. The browser's instantly refreshing Storybook. He's disconnected from Drupal, but he's working on design components that can be brought over to Drupal. It's great. And then he gets the DHEM notification, and that breaks his concentration. He takes off the Bose noise-canceling headphones, and he reads what Stacy has to say. She says the header menu is inaccessible. Jeremy takes a deep breath. He decides he should actually look at the real Drupal website to have this discussion, not just the Storybook components. He signs into Drupal for the first time in like 2 weeks, and he sees, yes, there is a problem, but there are module updates available, including an update to the module that provides the header menu. It says it has an accessibility fix, all great news. But they're also behind on security updates, which is surprising to Jeremy, and that gives him pause. Stacy, though, doesn't really see what the problem is. Like, just update the stuff. It's Drupal. Demo University really needs this. But Jeremy says, I don't touch those parts of Drupal. I'm comfortable in package.json, but I want to stay away from composer.json. And now Jeremy is the one with the problem. There are unapplied security updates. The solution should be sitting next to him one cubicle over. Nicole, the backend developer at Demo University, should be able to run Composer update, do the deployment, no big deal. But Nicole is not there in the cubicle next to Jeremy. Nicole also, since this relaunch, has retreated into her own world. Nicole is at the old university library. She's sitting at a 100-year-old oak table, hunched over an aging MacBook Pro. She's really hoping for that M1 MacBook Pro to come out soon. I also am hoping for that MacBook Pro to come out soon. But anyway, that's besides the point. Nicole is finally alone in a moment where she feels like she can understand Drupal 9. It's very different from Drupal 7. But here in this moment alone, in the silence, she's finally understanding the dependency injection container, the services YAML files, the config YAML files. It's all clicking. She takes a deep breath. It feels great. And then she gets the DM ping from Jeremy this time saying, why do we have unapplied security updates? Nicole is a bit annoyed. She knows there are unapplied security updates, but she also knows that it's really just an XSS thing that depends on permissions, and it's really not an issue for Demo University. But Jeremy doesn't really buy that logic. I mean, how can you be sure? Shouldn't you just apply the updates anyway? And Nicole says, well, yes, we should just apply the updates anyway, but the staging server is down, so I couldn't even deploy to live anyway. Jeremy can't believe it. He goes offline, and now Nicole is the one with the problem. The staging server is broken. The solution here should be relatively simple. Let's just fix the staging server. Well, to do that, we will need Michelle. Michelle is a systems administrator at Demo University. She is 2 kilometers away on the other side of campus. She is on the 2nd floor of the facilities and maintenance / IT building. She's setting down her 3rd cup of coffee for the day next to a brand new ThinkPad. She's settling in to do her work when she feels her phone buzzing with the DM notification. And it's Nicole saying, the staging server is down. Michelle doesn't have much time, so she just quickly types back, I know. Nicole is waiting for some more information to come. Eventually, she just asks, do you know why the staging server is down? But Michelle shoots back, no, I don't, but I'll get to it after I finish setting up this new laptop for the director of alumni giving. Nicole also goes offline. She can't believe it. And now Michelle is the one with the problem. She is blocking her coworkers. They can't do their deployment work of the website, but she also has this half-configured laptop on her desk. Well, maybe the solution there can be simple enough. This new hire can probably finish it. So she goes over to Atusa and says, hey, here is your laptop. Good luck. Let me know if you need any other software. Atusa, deflated, sitting amongst her crumpled sticky notes, sees someone who might be able to help her with this website thing and asks, hey, Michelle, can you help me make a new website? Now, Michelle is a savvy bureaucratic operator. She has heard requests like this many times before. She knows that her response needs to sound helpful, but not actually be helpful. So she smiles and says, sure, I'll provision a virtual machine for you. Do you want Ubuntu or CentOS? Atusa, seeing that this is of no help to her, says, never mind, I'll just use Wix. So everyone in this story is frustrated. I'm nearly over time now, so I will rush through the conclusion here. They're all frustrated because they feel like they can't do what they need to do to get their job done. They feel like perhaps they need a new platform, a new job entirely. Maybe they should just cut off Drupal's head and go headless. And they're not sure what to do. I think this moment is an illustration of what many web teams feel like in moments of stress. After a difficult transition like that move to Drupal 9, it's natural, it's normal for people to want to retreat into their own comfort areas. I certainly feel that impulse myself. But a team like this needs to engage with one another. They are all responsible in some way for the overall success of this website. And if they don't recognize themselves as a cross-functional team, they'll have a very hard time bringing about the full success of this website. I would recommend that teams in this situation do a more intentional job of communicating their needs. There are people here who need a stable deployment pipeline, platforms they can rely on, people here who need fewer regressions, and ultimately Atusa needs to drive donations to the website. What I would recommend for teams in this situation is demonstrating that any given member of the team knows what is needed beyond the strict borders of their role. Like, yes, any given job description, back-end developer, front-end developer, will have its given scope of responsibilities, but there's a good chance that stuff can fall between the cracks of those prescriptive job descriptions. There's a good chance that if each person is willing to extend a little bit beyond their role, show that they understand what the people next to them need, they'll be more successful overall. In closing, only 1 minute over, I'll just say again, website operations is a team sport. It works much better when everyone playing on the team recognizes that they're a team. Thanks so much for watching. This was an adventure to do it without slides visible to everyone else. I think it mostly worked, and I will now share those slides as you asked, John. All right. Does anyone have? Thank you for the applause emojis. Does anybody have questions or anything else? I think I will probably need to adjust the sharing permissions on this slide deck, but I just dropped in the link. I'll now make sure that those are publicly accessible to anyone who asks. All right. Anyone with the link can view that slide deck now. Without slides, it was even better. All right, I'll take it. I know perhaps our own designer at Pantheon will be sad to hear that, because I've done this presentation a couple times before, and he did a great job of cleaning up the slide deck to match Pantheon's slightly updated branding compared to 2 years ago. And you didn't get to see it live, but you can at least look at it after the fact. All right. Well, I'm encouraged to hear that without slides, it was even better. I've considered rewriting this whole presentation in iambic pentameter. I think that might be fun, but I think I've got to save that for an in-person conference. That might play well over. Oh, Jordana is saying haikus. I mean, I did used to run the Drupal haiku Twitter account for many years. That was fun. I started that around the time I did the CTools plugins haiku presentation. All right. Well, we are over time, everyone. I'll see you either in the networking sessions or over at the Pantheon booth. Bye-bye.